Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 easy tips to help people out who are just starting at Phasmophobia. Now, Phasmophobia can be a pretty intimidating game when you're first starting out, but these tips should help you to get out of the van and start finding some ghosts. So let's get started. Alright, so I think the obvious choice for tip number 1 is to buy a strong flashlight. Now you start off with a normal flashlight. This normal flashlight is pretty bad. If you go into the equipment store here and you go down to strong flashlight, it's 50 bucks. So if you complete a couple of missions here, complete a couple of contracts, you'll have a spare 50 bucks to buy. You buy one. Now this strong flashlight will make a big difference. It will illuminate a much wider area than the normal flashlight, and I'll kind of show you. Okay, so here we are in the van. We're getting ready to start our ghost hunt. There are 2 flashlights here. Let's throw the UV light away. We don't need the UV light. I don't want you to get confused by that. So here on the second shelf is the normal flashlight. It's the default flashlight. You get 1 for every contract you start. Now you buy a strong flashlight for 50 bucks. You add your strong flashlight in. Now we have a strong flashlight. So let me just kind of show you. Let's turn this on, and you see kind of the area. It's maybe maybe 70% of this wall that it's lighting up. So let's drop that and turn this on. You've got a much bigger area that it's illuminating. Not only left to right, but up and down. It's really giving you a lot more lighting. And on top of that, it's just brighter, period. So this will make a big difference. You'll have more light. You'll feel more comfortable walking through these dark hallways, which don't always have to be dark. And I'm going to cover that tip in just a little bit. But I'd say the obvious choice for tip number 1 is to buy a strong flashlight. Alright, so you have your strong flashlight. You want to go in and you want to find the ghost, right? So the easiest way to find a ghost, the easiest item to use to sweep for ghosts, is by far the thermometer. The EMF is another item you can use, but the EMF relies on a ghost interacting with something to get some sort of reading. This thermometer has a pretty large range. I think it's a 6-meter range, and it detects those lower temperatures pretty easily. So let's get inside the house and show you how this thermometer works. Alright, so now I'm in the house. I'm going to walk around and I'm going to sweep every room until I find the room that's got a lower temperature. Now typically you're looking for like a 12 degrees Celsius or lower, and that's going to be where the ghost is. So let's walk around, give it a sweep. Now what I do, kind of what helps the thermometer reset faster and read the temperature of that room is if you point it towards the ground. So I kind of always point towards the ground. And if you watch the thermometer, it's kind of floating between like 17 and 13 Celsius. And we're looking for more like 12.0 or lower, typically. Now, I just heard a door. I'm going to try to ignore any kind of door activity and just point the thermometer. Pointed at this room and immediately got an 11 degrees Celsius. I opened the door. I heard a footstep, 11 degrees. The sink's actually full of dirty water, so at some point it turned the water on and off. So it was that easy to find the ghost room. The ghost is in this bathroom. That makes it a lot more easy than walking around with an EMF and hoping the ghost touches the door. Alright, so while you're sweeping, another really important tip to remember, and this is going to be tip number 3, turn on the lights while you're sweeping the house. The more time you spend under lights, the less your sanity will lower. And that's really important, especially if you're playing big maps like High School or Asylum. That's a lot of really big hallways with a lot of options for this ghost to be, you want to be in lights as much as possible so that you have a longer amount of time before it starts hunting. So when you're walking around the house, sweeping for the ghost room, turn on lights when you walk into a room. When you leave the room, turn the lights off so that you don't trip a breaker later on. This will help you keep your sanity up much longer than just walking around in the pitch black dark. When you get done, say you walk down here, you look in here, you walk around the garage for a little bit, you don't have any sign of the ghost on your thermometer or EMF. When you leave the room, turn the light off, and continue on until you find the ghost room, which we've already found. The next important thing to remember, tip number 4, when you find the ghost room, go ahead and make a plan. Find somewhere to hide. So you know the ghost room is here in this bathroom. The ghost is going to spawn around this bathroom. So think of a logical place for you to hide safely. If the ghost spawns, maybe it's a revenant that will catch up with you quickly if you're in the line of sight. Find somewhere to quickly break line of sight, like this garage. Come around, hide in one of the lockers, go down into the basement. Just find somewhere to get away from the ghost quickly if it starts hunting and you're near, and break line of sight. That's the most important part. Okay, so finally, tip number 5. Narrow down the ghost type as early as you can. As soon as you find a piece of evidence, go ahead and rule out certain ghosts. This is especially important when you're talking about revenants. Revenants are very fast when you're in their line of sight. So say you get freezing temps early and you can rule out a revenant who doesn't have freezing temps as a piece of evidence. Then you don't have to worry about breaking line of sight immediately after it starts hunting. When you find the ghost room and you get in, grab your spirit box or your ghost writing book. How old are you? First piece of evidence. Let's come back, put in spirit box. We can rule out everything except for Oni, demon, mare, djinn, poltergeist, wraith, spirit. So we know we don't have to worry about a revenant. We may have to worry about an aggressive demon. We may have to worry about a mare that likes to turn the breaker off. But we know we don't have to try to break line of sight as soon as a hunt starts. Now, I plan on making some more of these tips videos in the future to go along with the tips video series that I have now that more or less just focus on one major tip at a time. But I feel pretty confident that these 5 easy tips should really help any new players as they start their journey in Phasmophobia. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.